So, I have like really bad like triggers and anxieties right now that I think my mind is trying to make up some things that are not really true or etc. Or had these worries and concerns that were not really true or etc. about a couple of things. And although this seems that way to me, but I don't know necessarily for sure whether that's true or not. I still, situations and things could still happen, but um you know, I just saw a neighbor who was, I thought was walking in the back of like the parking lot over by like the businesses and stuff like that. Probably about a few days ago or so. I finally saw him today. He was actually drunk, probably drunk as hell, and he was doing laundry, but he was still drunk as hell and stuff like that. So, um, I don't know. I mean, I don't think we'd be getting a job drunk as hell or drunk as hell and not being able to function or not being able to function properly because he's drinking. So, um, but yeah, I'm at the point too where it's just like, I don't know. It's like I had this really bad anxiety when I saw him walk like in the back of those businesses and stuff like that. I said, "Oh my God, I hope she did not hire. I hope what's her name did not hire another person that I know or another person from this building to work for her after I kind of failed her as as a person who was supposed to take a job and stuff like that." Um, That was like my big anxiety. Plus, there was a lot going on, and I got very overwhelmed and triggered too by my landlord shortly after that about like the whole thing where she's going to turn this building into like a Section 8 project or a Section 18 project, where it's no longer going to be just public housing. It's going to be under Section 18 or Section 8 to the building project will be under Section 8, not necessarily the tenants, but the building itself will be under Section 8, where she's going to use that to hopefully get better repairs and better stuff taken care of for the building, because that would hopefully give them more money and stuff and revenue to hopefully get this building repaired and fixed up in a better capacity than it's been being done, because obviously it's costing them more money than the building is worth to fix all the problems that are wrong with the building, like pipes are freezing and bursting and flooding the elevators and flooding the hallways and all kinds of stuff. So I mean, I got overwhelmed about that a little bit, because she was talking about having possibly people possibly might be having to be misplaced, but she was talking also about like trying to negotiate with people not to have that happen. But shit happens. She can negotiate with people all she wants. The next thing you know, we're all being misplaced and we're flat out on our ass because we can't live here, because this is a Section 8 housing and this is no longer housing authority's rules. So, but who knows? Who knows if that will necessarily happen to me or happen to everything. But I just got really overwhelmed thinking a neighbor was going to go work for what's her name, and I got really overwhelmed and anxieties about that. And anything related to my whole situation about working and stuff, my whole situation about working for her and stuff like that, anything related to it, or anything I might think that might be coming up into the situation that I'd rather not know about, what if another person's coming into the situation working for her or etc. There's certain things I'd rather not know. I rather definitely not know if it's a neighbor, but obviously this place, you're gonna find out if it's neighbors and etc. because people are gonna people are gonna tell you and people are gonna find out. But obviously, I think the guy was just probably passed out for a couple of days because he was drunk, because his speech is slurred and he has a lot of problems with alcohol. So. But I mean, I guess I guess I don't have to worry about him actually working that job. Like I was almost thinking, oh my God, did she hire him or something? But I mean, not like I'm gonna know, because I can't necessarily go down to the store and face this person, because I'm gonna get smacked right in the fucking head, because this person's probably so fucking pissed at me. It's like honestly, though, in some cases, I want to lash out back. I hate to say that like that, but there's a part of me that wants to kind of respond back in the way that, because I'm facing my karma in a way right now. I know I'm facing my karma in situations in a way with different things and etc. Um, And I understand I'm facing my karma and my situation with stuff, and I know that some people in situations are tied into that and tied into my karma and and the outcome of my karma and my consequences for past experiences. But um, I was just freaking out the other day, and I was freaking out in my head last night about some stuff, and I was getting really frustrated and really angry, really angry to the point I actually yelled at my mother. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, hopefully, maybe it's not gonna be as bad as I think it is, or it's not as over the top as I think it is. The guy kind of is just drunk, and he has to do his laundry, and he's kind of not really working for her as I thought he was. He might have probably just went over to the package store or something down the way, and probably cut through to go to the package store to get some alcohol or something, but. Because I know there's a package store right on the other side of the wall. If you cut down where the businesses are down the way, you can cut through there, and there's a there's like Sean's, like it's a little package store where you might be able to get some like alcoholic drinks or something. But for me, it's like this guy's obviously drunk and stuff like that. So I don't think that person would hire them. But I'm freaking out. I'm literally freaking out in my own thoughts and my own insecurities in my own head that I'm having my own fucking issues. I was kind of like relieved in a way to see that, but kind of not relieved because my actual tarot card said yes. In the next few months, I'll understand stuff, and yes, that person is actually working for that person. So I don't know. My tarot card. I don't know why my tarot cards had said that to me, but maybe they still are working for each other. Maybe he just has the day off or something. But at this point, I'm at this point. I don't know. I'm at this point where um, I don't know. I'm an emotional wreck because I felt so strongly towards. I felt this strong, really like connection, and emotional pull towards the owner of the actual business. I felt this strong connection and pull towards the owner. Like I really enjoyed what they were about, and I really liked what they were about, and had a lot of love for what they were about, and etc. Besides some of their personal stuff, which I just tried to overlook and tried to say, okay, well, I don't have to go the direction of how she's going about her personal stuff. I could take a different path. I could decide to go slow and get to know her very slowly and not take a path like all these guys barking at her like she's a piece of meat, and maybe it would be better, more in the benefit of me and her, especially as somebody who's also supporting local businesses, and it's the fact that she was also a local business. But yeah, she got guys barking at her like a piece of meat. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to people. I mean, I showed everybody the picture because it's true. She was barking. People were barking at her like a piece of meat. But I'm not trying to really ruin her or nothing. I'm not trying to be the revenge type. But I do have some people or some friends or some people that I really have some issues with, as far as some things, as far as my connections, and as far as they are choosing to kind of work with certain people and etc. But I can't necessarily blame them because it's part of their jobs and etc. to work with everybody and to make sure that everybody feels equal. It feels like they're having equal opportunity and shot to work with each other and stuff like that. I mean, this person has even supported me and stuff like that. And that was the other thing about my tarot cards. I had asked about that person in general, and they said, well, if I wanted to, I could take action and delete them. And I actually never ended up doing so. I ended up kind of like hesitating about it and kind of pulling back, and I ended up pulling some more cards. But some stuff said there's something better in the situation and stuff like that. But I was really overwhelmed, and I've been very stressed out and overwhelmed, and I felt this very strong connection. And at times I'm trying to let the connection go. Other times I'm really agitated by it because obviously there's not a lot I can do. I mean, there's a strong pull towards that person and that connection, but there's nothing I can fucking do because they told me not to come back and support them or etc. So now I'm stuck with my emotions. I'm stuck feeling these things. I'm stuck being hurt because there's one or two local businesses I can't support that one of those local businesses I was with for 5 years, and then her business, which I was trying to support too for her business as well. So I'm feeling kind of really, hurt and upset about some things, but And that some of that's because I felt very strongly about the both of them. I felt very strongly about working with with the bookstore owner. I felt very strongly with working with the soul food owner. But obviously, I mean, they don't feel the same about me in a way, and I know that because they've one person's obviously told me not to come back, and the bookstore owner hasn't really told me not to come back. But I'm sure after things get revealed or certain things get said that he's probably not going to want me to come back there, etc. I mean, I've already said some things out of anger and frustrations that, I'm lucky in a way that, I didn't have the cops at my door, but at the same time, it was like I said some things, and I mean, I didn't know, I'm not going to say I should regret it, because, the subtle art of not giving a fuck is, learning not to give a fuck, and I don't give a fuck, so, I really don't, but, at the same time, it was said, and I know there was consequence, there could have been more consequences, connected to it, but, I said what I had said, and it was, it was what it was, but, I'm just doing all right. I'm chilling at this point. I get really high anxieties, and I need to like chill. But my anxieties and just a lot of things overwhelming and like over the top. A lot of things over the top for me, and it's just like over the top changes, over the top emotions, over the top this and over the top that, to the point that I'm just feeling kind of crazy. I'm going fucking crazy. I mean, part of me doesn't care. Part of me is like, let's roll with it. Let's go fucking crazy. But. Another part of me there's a part of me still that I said before does care, and it's still there somewhere, but I think I've kind of lost track of where it was, but, it's there somewhere, and there's part of me, if I can bury it out of my emotions that I mean just not giving a fuck, but, anyway.